The one thing that I always wanted to talk about for a while now is the scar on Boruto's face. I've been recently rereading the Boruto manga to refresh my memory, and I kinda got a couple ideas on how Boruto actually receives this scar. Now currently in the manga, Boruto hasn't received the scar yet, but I definitely do think the scar is coming sooner than later, considering what is going on currently in the Boruto manga. Obviously Ada and Code are here in the Hidden Leaf Village, trying to fulfill their plans right now, and with Boruto and Sasuke heading to the location where they're at, I definitely do think there is a very large possibility for Boruto to receive his scar very soon. Now I just want to give some context. This video is being recorded prior to Boruto chapter 70 dropping. All I'm gonna say is that personally I do believe Boruto is going to get his scar a lot sooner than later. So I do have a couple ideas. The first idea I do have is of course Code with him having that claw mark with the ability to transform his arm into a claw mark using the cyber kinetics in his blood, just like how Kawaki can. I would not be surprised if Code gets a clean swipe at Boruto's face in this upcoming battle. Of course we did see Code use these claw marks when he was fighting Boruto. For example, in Boruto chapter 64 when he was fighting True Essence Boruto, where he was slashing down a bunch of Boruto shadow clones. So his claw mark is very powerful, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a clean swipe in, and considering that Code is right now urging Amato to remove his limiters, I wouldn't be surprised if Code actually gets that swipe off, considering that if he does get his limiters in the next couple of chapters or later in this arc, my man is going to be busted. Obviously Code is stated to be above Jigen without his limiters on, so if Boruto were to go battle Code, I definitely do think Code is going to drag that dude once he does get his limiters removed, because personally I do not think Code is going to fight again with his limiters on. I do expect him to give Boruto a big ass whooping. Same thing applies for Kawaki too. We do know that Boruto is at a much stronger power level, so if they were to fight again, Boruto is going to put up some resistance but eventually will lose, because we know that one of Code's goals right now is to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails. Code is most likely going to target Boruto first, simply because Ada does not show as much care for Boruto as much as she does for Kawaki. So those claw marks are very dangerous, and with the possibility of his limiters being removed, there is definitely a very big chance for that to actually happen. The next possibility would be Kawaki. Now I know this sounds a bit crazy, but I definitely do think Kawaki is going to try to kill Boruto again. Maybe not in the next couple of chapters, but possibly later down in this arc once they're done fighting Code, or in the midst of battling Code with his limiters possibly being removed. I think Kawaki might go for that kill again, because just like Code, Kawaki does have the cyber kinetics to transform his arm into a dagger, and not only just a dagger but also a claw and possible throwing knives. We've seen this in the Boruto anime, and considering that Ikimoto is a bit more creative with the younger gen, and in the case that Kawaki does try to go for the kill, Kawaki might have to sneak that in there, because obviously we do know his obsession over Naruto, knowing that Boruto is a threat to Naruto thanks to Momoshiki still being able to manifest. Boruto is still on pack watch. Even though he already got packed earlier in this arc, it's still possible for him to get hurt again, considering that Kawaki really didn't show any emotion when he heard that Boruto was still alive. So I definitely do think that Kawaki might just go for the kill again, and he might target those eyes, man. That slash to the face is very possible considering the amount of weapons that Kawaki can form using the cyber kinetics in his arm. Kawaki is also a very big option, and now I definitely do think another option could be Sasuke. Now Sasuke in the last arc did promise to kill Boruto if Momoshiki were to manifest. However, now that we did see that Sasuke did kind of hesitate to do so when he did talk to Naruto in the Boruto anime. However, with that being said, if Momoshiki were to come out again, I don't think Sasuke would be afraid this time, because as in the last chapter in Boruto chapter 69, he did tell Boruto that he's going to have to show his resolve soon. So with that being said, I think Sasuke may muster up the courage and strength to actually go through with this promise if it ever does actually happen. The one thing I do want to say is that I don't think Sasuke is going to be strong enough to kill Boruto at this point if Momoshiki were to resurrect. Obviously Sasuke is not going to kill Boruto on its own, but only in the possibility that if Momoshiki does come out, Sasuke is going to try to at least put Boruto down. However, I do think the chances are a bit low, considering that Sasuke may hesitate to actually try to kill Boruto. However, you never know. You know, Sasuke can be very cold-blooded. He still has that mindset in Boruto, especially when he's fighting these other Otsutsuki such as Momoshiki and Jigen. So he definitely does have that killing intent. If he actually musters up the strength and actually goes through with his resolve, it could actually happen, especially with him slamming that sword right down Boruto's face. Now the next possibility I've seen some people talk about, but I'm gonna mention it either way, the possibility of Naruto himself giving Boruto that scar. As with what happened with Sasuke, if Borushiki ever comes out again, can Naruto actually be able to put down his son? Obviously power wise, when we did see that earlier in the Code arc, Borushiki was going to kill stage mode Naruto had not Kawaki saved him. Naruto really didn't do much, so it's kind of hard to scale scale how strong Sage Mode Naruto is currently. Personally, I don't believe Sage Mode Naruto would be able to take down the likes of Borushiki. However, it could be possible that if Momoshiki were to come out, could use a kunai and try to slash Boruto down. However, that's his son. Obviously, Naruto is going to look at his son, not as this monster like Momoshiki, like how Kawaki did. I think the chances of Naruto actually giving Boruto the scar is pretty low, but I think it would be pretty impactful for Naruto considering that that is his own son, and considering how he reacted when Boruto died. Personally, I don't believe the chances are pretty high. I think they're pretty low considering how much he cares about Boruto to begin with, but you never know. Naruto, just like Sasuke, may muster the courage to actually go through and slash Boruto's face if Momoshiki were to come out. Now, the last option I definitely do think is a lot more possible is if Boruto self-inflicts this wound on himself. We know that when Momoshiki does awaken, Boruto can somewhat fight back. We saw this initially when Borushiki was fighting Kawaki post Ishiki fight, where Boruto actually snapped Momoshiki's horn off his face, and when he did that, Momoshiki did go away. And with that being said, if Boruto can actually harm himself to make Momoshiki go away, I wouldn't be surprised if the next time it does happen, Boruto grabs a kunai and just stabs himself in the eye. The only way to really stop Momoshiki when he takes over your body is to 1. Self-inflict harm onto yourself or absorb chakra. And considering in the upcoming rematch against Code, if Momoshiki were to resurrect, especially against a no limiter Code, the possibility of Momoshiki actually beating Code would be pretty low considering that Code would be above the likes of Jigen in power. So I wouldn't expect Momoshiki to beat up Code easily, just like how he did in the past earlier in the arc. So if that were to happen, especially in the midst of the fight or even after the fight against Code where Boruto's around Naruto, Sasuke, or even Sarada or Mitsuki, the only way to stop Momoshiki from just obliterating his friends and family is to actually harm himself. And personally for me, I think that would be the rawest way. I would love to see Boruto just stab himself in the eye. Now obviously that's kind of crazy, but seeing Boruto have that resolve to actually do that would be great. We know that Boruto does have the resolve to actually sacrifice himself. We saw this during the Ishiki fight where he was willing to stab himself in the neck, and then during the earlier events of the Code arc, Boruto allowing Kawaki to impale him. I think Boruto could go with it by self-inflicting harm on himself to make sure Momoshiki doesn't ensue any more damage. And I forgot to mention the Jogan. In the small possibility that it actually happens, what if Boruto actually unlocks the Jogan while fighting Code? And when I'm referring to Code, of course, is no limiter Code whenever that actually happens. And with that being said, if a no limiter Code fights a regular Karma Boruto's not really going to put up much of a fight. He may put up some resistance, but I do expect him to get his ass whooped. In the small possibility of the Jogan coming, possibly save Boruto or use it in a way to actually fight Code, that can scare Code to the point where he might target that Jogan and try to slash it off his face. That was something that I kind of forgot to mention, but I'm gonna just throw that in there just in the small case that it does happen, because I know a lot of people want the Jogan to be in the mangas, but those are the ideas that I think that could happen with Boruto getting the scar. I personally believe that these are the most plausible ways on how Boruto will receive a scar, but let me know what you think about these options in the comment section below, and tell me what other ways do you think Boruto will receive a scar. Do you think he'll get it from the likes of Sarada or Mitsuki? Do you think the likes of Ada or Damon will get it? Or did you agree with one of the options that I did say earlier in this video? Let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.